Really good. All
right, sorry. Welcome to Branson Spotlight with our friend Doug Gabriel from here in Branson, and good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me on your wonderful program.
Well, thank you. We're trying to highlight different artists in Branson, especially those that have been here for a long time. Let the public get to know them a little bit and find out your background, future plans, that sort of thing. And you've been in Branson for quite a while.
I've been in Branson 29 years. I started in 1985 on a show called the Starlight Theater with people like Shoji Debucci and everybody, John Paul Cody, the Texans were all on that show at that time. And then I started my own show in 1994 at the Jim Stafford Theater.
You've been doing your own show since?
20 years. 20 years I've been doing my own show. So.
Do you like doing your own? Well, obviously you must like doing your own show, but
I love it. And my whole family now has become a part of my show. And plus I have a wonderful band of wonderful musicians on top of the family being in the show. And just last year now, after I've been entertaining in Branson 29 years, but just last year I finally got my own theater.
Really?
Yeah.
I get asked all the time, because I perform at the Showboat, and I get asked, have you ever thought of doing your own show? I say, no, thank you. It's a lot of work. People around here don't realize how much work it is, because you not only do the entertainment side, but you have to do the business side. And
running a theater is really quite something, and you're correct when you say that. A lot of people don't realize just how hard it is to maintain a theater, and you have to do the concessions. And, there's just a lot more things to it. And then, of course, we have other shows in our theater as well. So we try to help a lot of different people. And it's wonderful having our own place. We've had a wonderful time. The theater used to be Yakov's years ago.
Oh, really?
And it's beautiful, right behind the Olive Garden.
Right, yeah, I know right where that is. My kids always see the signs and want to go down there because they're big fans of the Olive Gardens.
Oh, yeah, I love having that in my parking lot.
It's a place to go for lunch.
Yeah, so it's wonderful, and it's a good landmark where people can find our theater. They just go down the hill right by the Olive Garden. But the theater itself is just gorgeous on the inside.
Oh, I love it, because I saw the play or the musical that was there, the Frankie Valli, or what was the name of that? I can't remember.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's been a few years, but I used to go down there.
Break It Up is Hard to Do. Is that the one?
That's it. Yeah. But I used to go and watch that. I had a lot of friends in there, and that is a great place to be.
It is. It's a wonderful theater. We put a lot into it when we moved in there. There's all new lighting, new sound, and then also, the carpet is all brand new. So it's just gorgeous in there.
They had kind of a funny thing that happened, because back then Celebration City was open. And right behind you there, and they would do the fireworks every night. Well, that was right in the middle of their show, and whenever I would see it, over time they worked it into the show, because you could hear it. You're hearing and so they would say, "Oh, look at the fireworks," or something.
Oh, that's great.
And well, you don't have to worry about that now.
No, it's okay now. And I actually do, Christopher, mornings and nights. A lot of people wonder. I still do mornings because I was a morning show for years, but I also do nights now. In fact, we probably do more evenings than we do mornings, but we do over 200 shows a year.
Wow. At what time's the morning show?
10 a.m. and then 8 at night.
Is that a challenge, getting the people, because you probably get a lot of coaches?
Right. That's why we still do our mornings, because I've always had a strong coach following, and reason being is we change our show yearly, so we've had loyal customers that stay with us year after year.
Right. But is it a challenge with them in the morning? Because I know we do a late night show. Our cruise starts at 8. The show itself doesn't start till around 9:15, and I see people out there kind of tired.
Believe it or not, I get them fresh in the morning. They're ready to go.
Oh, they're ready to go.
Yeah,
well, they get up at like 6 a.m.
They do. These buses, and they follow them in there, and no, I haven't noticed really that much of a difference. Now, your summer crowd in Branson's different than the spring and fall, and so you adapt your show accordingly and stuff. And we're actually getting into the music of, we do everything from Marty Robbins to the Bee Gees to Kenny Loggins. I mean, we do
Elvis.
all styles.
Yeah,
I do Elvis. Yeah, I do Elvis and Tom Jones and a lot of different people.
Yeah, I saw your show years ago when you were at the Stafford Theater.
Oh, wow.
I think that's where it was. And I remember you talking about about your Elvis belt buckle, right?
Oh, yeah. I was given this belt. I still wear that belt to this day. In fact, the lady that brought me to the town gave me it, and it's the designer of that belt was a famous designer by the name of Nudie, which Nudie made some of Elvis's stuff. So this belt is quite valuable, and I'm really honored that she gave it to me. So I wear it still in my show. It's sort of an image thing with us.
Do you remember? Is she from Vegas? Do you remember?
Now I'm trying to think. Well, she was from Grapevine, Texas, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, she had a show there called the Grapevine Opry, and I was on her show years ago when I was just a little kid. And then when I came to Branson, I saw that she had her own theater at that time, and so I ended up getting the job there.
I used to do a bit in my show where it was a tribute to Elvis, but doing magic and comedy, and I would dress as Elvis in the show and kind of a little tribute to him, not making fun of him or anything, but doing magic as Elvis. And I tried for years to get the outfit made. It never looked right. The jumpsuit is what I would use. And so finally this woman on the internet gets a hold of me because I had posted all over the place, and she said, I can make you one. And I said, I need it to look authentic. And she goes, well, it will, because I designed his jumpsuits. And she sent me pictures of her with Elvis and showed me that she made my prop. And
that's awesome.
It was pretty neat. So I got that little connection to Elvis myself.
Well, he's always been my favorite singer, but my show has so much evolved since years ago, because now my whole family's in it. My son, who's 23 years old, he was just put in the top 5 comedians in Branson. He is hilarious. He's like a Jim Carrey.
Oh, really?
Is what he's like.
I'll have to
on
see
my
him.
show. He's very funny, very physical. His comedy's different than what you're going to see in Branson.
Right.
He's real visual. People watch him.
And they like that in Branson.
Yeah. So he's very animated and that kind of thing. And then my wife does anywhere. She does Shania Twain, Little Big Town. My daughter does Taylor Swift style. So we've really evolved the show. And my son, who drums for us, won Drum of the Year 3 years in a row. He's an amazing drummer. He's 27. He's the oldest.
Right.
And him and his wife, we're going to be grandparents coming up. Yeah, we're pretty excited.
When is that?
January 5th is when we're
that's not too long from
I know.
Now.
We're very, very excited about that, and that'll be our first grandbaby. And of course, the baby will probably be in the show.
I was going to say, what character, what artist are they going to?
I don't know, but we'll definitely show we're just a family show, but we do it. I have some of the best musicians in town. Dino Strunk on the guitar, JT Lynn on piano, Scott Lancaster on bass, and of course my son drums, and so it's a big variety show, and we try to do a little bit of everything and cover all age groups.
I like that you do the Taylor Swift, and all that, Shake It Up and all that sort of stuff.
People love that. I mean, particularly the young kids that come to town.
Oh yeah, I have twins.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And we talk about them a lot on here. And they love to sing. Well, my daughter loves to sing. And I say the two of them are my personality. She is very outgoing and funny and loud. And that's me on stage. And my son is very reserved and just sits there, but then will do something that you won't expect. And,
right.
They're very tiny, but she shocked us one day. We were in the car, and they always just listen to the radio, and we can hear them. And one day, she just sang the entire Taylor Swift song, even the rap part. Oh, my God. About
they listen and they know.
Oh, yes.
They can pick up kids are really fast.
Yeah. So we did a funny little thing. Here, I filmed her and recorded the music, but then did it on a separate track, so we could take it out, and you can just hear her lyrics the whole time, and the words she thinks they're saying. So she would go nuts.
Now, how old's your daughter?
They're almost 3. In January, they turn 3.
Oh, that's perfect age.
But the two of them, he stands there with the microphone, and she's the dancer and stuff, and it's pretty funny.
That's how I started. People ask me, my mom tells me this. When I was 3, I'd climb up on the coffee table, and I'd use a jump rope for a microphone. And back then, I was mimicking, because my mom would play Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck, and I would be mimicking those records at 3 years old on the coffee table.
Yeah, for all your little friends.
Yeah. So I started at a very young age. Then I started on the guitar at around age 10. I do play the only guitar in the world made from a 1969 Thunderbird muffler.
I saw that. And is that? Don't you have one of them in the Ripley's?
Yeah, I do. One's in Ripley's, and then the College of the Ozarks recently asked me for another replica of my muffler. They're going to place out at the college.
Oh wow, at their museum that they have. out there.
Ralph Foster Museum.
Yeah, right.
So I'm pretty honored
How
about
in
that.
the world did you come up with that idea?
Well, my dad did, actually. Years ago, I had a band in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's where I'm originally from, called the New Relations. And we would have these meetings, basically, every month saying, okay, how are we going to draw attention to our career? And my dad owned a Midas Muffler franchise at that time. And we all, at one of our meetings, just said, hey, well, let's make a guitar out of a muffler. And then we all laughed it off. And Dad got to thinking about it and went and did it.
Oh, really?
And my dad knew nothing about how to make a guitar. My dad's not musically inclined at all. And when he made this first muffler guitar, by the way, is the one I still play on the show, even the music store said, have you done this before? And he said, no. And they said the bridge and everything was perfectly put on there.
Right.
And so we call it a miracle of the Lord because the thing works,
And it works, and you've been using it for
and
all
I've been
these
using
years.
it for, so it's from the 70s. And I'm still playing that original one in my show.
So he brings this home after you guys have kind of joked around about it. And were you
man,
guys
it
shocked,
worked.
or did you have any idea he was making it? Or
No, when he finally brought it home and he wanted to test it out, see if it'd work. And I was a little bit scared to try because I was worried I was going to get electrocuted or something with the metal and stuff. And but it ended up working. And just so you know, that muffler guitar, it got me more national publicity than you can imagine.
Oh, I'm
I was
sure.
in over 6,000 newspapers worldwide, not just in the United States, worldwide. Also, People Magazine, Hot Rod Magazine. I was on Crick and Chase show.
because you can cross. I mean, that's something car related. That's music related.
It got
Brilliant.
me so much publicity in my career. That was in my early days, but I still bring it on the show here in Branson and tell the little story of it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I remember when you did it, and I thought it was hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you played it, I was like, wait a minute, it actually works.
It actually works. And this year, and I don't want to give the surprise away too much, but my band all made their own car part instruments.
That's
so we
awesome.
all play it together now.
I was going to say you should have the little grandbaby come out with a little carburetor.
Yeah. That's a good idea. But no, we all play a thing. We all do a little bit of dueling banjos, actually.
And dueling mufflers.
Yeah, dueling we call it mufftars. But anyway, it's going really, really well. And my band made their instruments by themselves, and they worked on them for a year.
Right.
And they surprised me with them.
And that's going in the show next year?
Well, it's in now, and it remains because it's such a popular thing
that's
now.
awesome.
So.
And what is your typical season? When do you come back? Because we're at the end of the year when we're recording this, but we're going to play this again in the spring. And so when do you actually start shows?
Well, I start in Branson usually in March because I tour all around the United States in January and February. I'll be in Louisiana, Florida, Michigan. I'm all over.
Hauling the mufftar around.
Yeah, all in the mufftar.
Must be exhausting.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one of my lines. It's too exhausting to play. But then we start back in Branson, and each year we change our show up all the time because we get such good repeat business that I want people to see something fresh, new.
Right.
So I'll usually change about 90% of my show. We keep the favorites in. I play Malagueña, which is a Spanish song I play on a guitar.
Right.
I cannot do a show and not sing Unchained Melody. I've just sort of gotten known for it, so I sing songs like that. And we try to keep the favorites in, but then we change the rest of it.
You have to do that in Branson. I learned that myself because if you change everything, even if I had the feeling, people are tired of me doing such and such, and I change everything, then they come back and say, we miss.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
Even though
what
they've seen it 100 times,
they want to see it again.
They want to see it again. And one of our producers says people like to be amazed in Branson by the familiar. Like they like coming back. They come back for a reason. They want to see certain things, Unchained Melodies they want to hear.
Right.
And so you don't want to change everything, but you do have to keep it interesting. That's one of the challenges, I think, of Branson. You kind of mentioned it. Our season changes. I haven't talked about this with anyone else, but in the summer, for those of you that don't come to Branson, we get a lot of families.
That's correct.
That come for the amusement parks, the water slides, the go-karts, and the zip lines, and all that, the shows. But then school starts, and suddenly, I'm sure you have the same thing, overnight, the crowd changes. It's a whole different ballgame once school starts.
It really, really is, and I call it almost two different type of seasons and stuff, and that's why there's a fine line of trying to create a show that appeals to all ages. Because you don't want to neglect these new people coming to Branson. Maybe they've never been here before,
right,
and they're wanting their kind of music.
Yeah,
but then you can't neglect the senior market who's been here for years.
Right.
So that's what we try to do. We cover the older artists as well as the newer artists. We did like Jason Aldean, Kelly Clarkson this year. We've just tried Tim McGraw. We do a lot of different people.
Right. And well, being here 29 years, you've seen the changes. I've been here almost 10, and I've seen the changes.
Right. It's been really different. When I first came to Branson, I think there was, I'm going to say at best 20 shows. And now there's I think the latest count was about 200 shows.
Oh, I know.
It's a lot of people coming here. And the good thing about Branson is we have the diversity of a lot of different types of artists and a different appeal to a lot of people, different age groups. Because for a while there, to be honest with you, Branson had the reputation of only being for the old-time country artists. And we certainly welcome that, but Branson's much more than that.
Yes, especially now. In the last 5 years or so, I'd say it's really changed with the addition of all the extra activities for kids and so on.
Right. I'm a huge fan of the old-time country artists, and they pack them in when they do come to Branson, so people need to take notice of that too. But we also try to do some of the newer, and so Branson is reaching out to another completely different market, and there's room for everybody.
Yeah, even the newer artists are covering the old-time performers, so it's like all coming back again. And I think it's funny when I can't think of a specific song right now, but a newer artist will cover an old-time country song, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear somebody that will go to one of those shows, oh, I heard so-and-so doing Taylor Swift's song. No. Taylor Swift does that
That's
song.
right.
Like they have it backwards. Like the kids don't understand that some of the songs have been around for a long time, and it's just a big cycle coming around again.
Well, if you get good material, good song material, and that's why my show, our tribute is to the great music. We do when we only perform number one hits that reach the radio, number one on the radio. And so therefore, when people come to our show, everybody knows every single song from the start to the finish. And that's what our new theme is. And we just won Best Tribute Show again for the third year from the Branson Show Awards, which we were excited about.
Yeah.
And so we try to keep it fresh, new, and we're doing some of the newer artists we've done is this year it was like James Taylor, Barry Manilow, getting into that, the baby boomer.
Because as our the demographic that comes here, you have to keep moving it up a little bit because the people now that are coming to Branson, the retired folks, well, they grew up in the 60s and the 70s. So you have to keep adjusting it.
That's exactly right.
And that's where the smart business people are in this town that know to keep evolving. And that's what makes Branson so popular, actually, is that we truly do have something for everyone now. You want to see newer artists, like you're saying, but also we have all the different types of shows. When I first got invited here, my first response 10 years ago was, I don't do country themes. Like I thought it was all country music.
Right.
Like you're
See,
saying.
that's the perception is that a lot. And we still are country music, but we're everything.
Everything.
Too. Yeah.
And it comes down to, like in your show, good music is good music. Like it doesn't matter when it was written, who performed it. If it's entertaining music, the crowd's going to like it.
That's exactly right. And you're on the showboat, which I have to say that the Hershans are just first class people all the way, and really they have really kept Branson on the cutting edge with Silver Dollar City and just everything that they've done. I have such respect for them and how they've kept Branson a clean family destination that uplifts God, family, and country.
Right.
And this town does that, and so we can appeal. A person can bring their kids and the grandparents, and everyone in the family is going to have a good time.
That's true, and what you're saying is true, and they stay current. They added the biggest roller coaster, wooden roller coaster, or whatever.
Which I'm afraid to ride.
You haven't ridden it?
I haven't ridden it. No, I've done everything else out there.
Yeah, I got invited to ride it for
did?
the inaugural
Outlaw Run,
big thing and Outlaw Run. And I said, no, thank you. Are you afraid? No, I just don't like it. No, I have not been on it. My daughter rides it like crazy. Not the 3-year-old. I have an older daughter.
Well, my son, who's old, he's our oldest. He's 27 now, but I always will send him on things to sort of test
scout.
it, and he'll tell me, you can handle this, or no, you can't handle it. He came back and says, you can't handle it.
Yeah,
he says it's
no
pretty
way.
intense.
Oh, I just can't see it. They had a thing a few years ago, real quick, that was the nighttime. You could go out in the dark and ride things.
Oh.
And my daughter had not ridden roller coasters much. She had done the small things, and I said, let's ride this. And I thought it'd be hilarious to record her. So I turned on the voice recorder on the phone, and I thought, this is going to be funny, and I wasn't forcing her to be on it.
Right.
So it's not like that. And so we ride it, and I record it. The next day I'm playing it, and she's there, and we're laughing, and somebody said, boy, listen to you scream, Olivia. Your voice is so high-pitched. She said, that's my dad. It scared me so bad.
Oh, yeah, see, that's me.
She didn't care. She wrote it again afterwards. I got off. My hair was all crazy and my eyes. And I said, that's it. I'm going to sit over here. She's like, can I go ride it by myself? I'm like,
Go ahead. Oh, that's funny.
No, thank you.
That's exactly how we are with, but I'll try certain things, and maybe one of these years I'll get enough guts to actually go on it. We'll see.
Do you do any of the other things in town that become popular, like the zip lines or anything like that?
Oh, no, because I mean, they're fun, and, I always recommend them for people that like that kind of thing. But because I have a height issue, that's my deal.
Yeah.
I really afraid of heights for some reason.
I have a bad back. So that's actually my excuse is I don't want to be jostled around and stuff.
No, you don't, and don't want to do that. But we have some good ones here in town. This town has everything.
There really is everything. When I'm out and I tell people on ships or when I'm traveling like you do, and I say, come to Branson, my grandma would like it. No.
You would like it.
Yeah, you would like it. And that is probably the biggest misconception about this town. Is that it's for retired folks, because I would say there's equal amounts for younger kids and our retired friends, and
there really is, and that is the problem is the perception, and I know that there's a lot of people been working on that, and I think it's coming around. I mean, I know that we have more theater seats than most any town.
Mm-hmm. And I forget how many the
it's
chamber
over 50,000 theater seats,
it's amazing.
And our theaters are state of the art.
Right.
These theaters are nice theaters. I've played a lot of nice venues, and it doesn't get really any better than what's here.
Right.
And so I'm proud about that, and people get a quality. And the thing that makes Branson, like for guys like us who have families, we're living in the area, it makes it nice because you can live somewhat of a family life and not be gone all the time.
That was the attraction for me
here.
to come here, is that I didn't have to be on the road. And driving at night in a bus and all that, and you get to go home to your family. You can get your family involved in the show.
Right.
And people don't realize that the numbers are staggering about this town. What did we get? 7 million visitors, they say.
Right, a year. And
there's only 10,000 people that live in the town. That's hilarious to me. And the one that always got me was, I don't know how current this is, but at one point they said there's 15,000 hotel rooms.
Yeah.
That's like a separate room for you to sleep in every night for 50 years.
I know. I know.
It's insane.
And they're wonderful people, and this town has always been a wonderful town. Like I said, it uplifts God, family, and country, which I think is made Branson what it is. Now, I'm just saying I'm an old timer because I've been here a long time. But I really think that Branson should always try to embrace what brought us to the dance.
I totally agree. Occasionally I'll get people that'll come up at the show and they'll say, well, when are you going to have casinos? And I say, hopefully never, because then we're just an imitation of Vegas,
that's
where we have our thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's different. And other nations have their thing, and this is what has built Branson. And I think if Branson continues to embrace what we have been, it's just going to get bigger and bigger as the word gets out.
I totally agree. Well, let's go back and talk about your show for next year. At your theater, you have some other shows that are there now, and also will be there next year, right?
Right, that's correct.
Who else do you have at the theater?
Well, we have Jim Owen, who wrote the song Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man for Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Jim's a good friend of mine, a very funny comedian. I mean, he nails them with that, and wrote a lot of great songs, tells a lot of great stories in his show. He does our matinee time slot. Okay. I do mornings and nights. He does 2 o'clock. And then we're having another artist next year by the name of Danny Diamond, who does a tribute to Neil Diamond, Buddy Holly does
What a
things like that.
coincidence! He has the same last name.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, but he's going to be new to the area, and then also we have Barbara Fairchild, who does her Sunday morning worship service.
She's
at
the
my
nicest
theater.
woman. I've talked to her, the sweetest person.
We love her and Roy, and then also we have Jammin' for Jesus, which that's a once a month event where we bring in numerous gospel acts from all over the country, and it changes monthly. We do them only once a month, and it's always the first Sunday of every month at 2:00, and those will start up in April. But that goes every month, and it's always different, and it's free. It's absolutely free. People can just come.
Wow.
Yeah, it's neat.
And so you'll have those on your website as to who's performing.
Well, Phyllis Roetruck handles the Jammin' for Jesus event, but we always try to put a big flyer out and put it on Facebook of who's all going to be there each month, and so we do try to keep up on that. But and then like they take each month we have a different cause that we try to help out through that show. And one time it was the Salvation Army, and we do others.
Maybe a comedian with twins.
Yeah.
Fun. You could do that.
Yeah, there you go. We could have the Christopher James one.
Yeah, a cause. That's a cause. Trust me.
Believe me, I know. Because having children, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that it helps that, and we just love having it at the theater. We've had some wonderful gospel artists on there, and she gets people from all around the country, and she handles that because it's quite a lot of booking of people with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I wouldn't want to do that. Again,
really
that goes back to doing your own show and all that. No, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Let me show up and punch in and do my thing and go home. But you, Barbara, just to be clear, is not performing at your theater. She's doing a Sunday morning
worship service. That's correct. She still has her own show at the Golden Corral.
And the public's welcome to come to that on Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah, that's just open to the public. And, it's so funny because I got to tell you a little funny story about Barbara and her husband, Roy. See, Roy Morris and my wife, Cheryl, they've teased Barbara and I for years that at all the events they go, well, where are our pictures, or where are, so they've decided that it's an inside joke, but they keep saying that they're going to have their own show someday, and they're going to call themselves the Where Is It At Theater. No one's going to be able to find it. but anyway, they tease Barbara and Roy all the time. And this year, Roy sent me over the internet. He made a fake billboard with a big picture of him and my wife, and then Barbara Fairchild and I were down here real small.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was funny. He's funny, but we have a good time.
Oh, that's a great name for a theater.
Where's that theater?
I always wanted to open a restaurant called I Don't Care. It's up to you.
It's up to you.
I have a friend. They had a little country band, and I used to help with it in Ohio, kind of book bands and things like that. Never again. It's a lot of work. That's real work. And the name of their band was Free Beer, and so up on the sign tonight, free beer. And so everyone would come in.
Oh, wow. That pack out the place. Right. And they didn't get it for false advertisement.
No, that was the name of the group. So a restaurant called I Don't Care and the Nowhere Theater.
The Nowhere. That's funny.
That would be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shows next year. You're going to be still doing the morning show. You'll be doing the evening show. Lots of stuff going on at your theater there behind the Olive Garden. So go have your breadsticks and your
they can eat right there and come on down for the show.
And be ready to cheer and yell for all the number one hits there.
That's exactly right. Show.
And we'll put the website down below where you can get tickets and more information about Doug and the other shows that they have there. And thank you for coming out to talk.
And thank you for what you're doing for Branson. This is really good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And we'll see you next week on Branson Spotlight. Bye-bye.